2020 seems to be the beginning of the shift. COVID. I mean, is it fair to mark it like COVID lockdowns and to like the Trump raid on Mar-a-Lago as like two big benchmarks in your transformation?
Yeah, absolutely. Because the Trump raid was when I became a Trump voter and a Trump supporter. But before that, I was just, and when I was on your show even, I'm not a Trump supporter, but I'm not a Trump voter, but, and I had to say that because I knew the Trump line was one you cannot cross. You can be anti-cancel culture, you can be critical of the studios, but you cannot say, I support Donald Trump because he's considered, as you know, the world's greatest evil, right? So I knew I had to do that. And if I ever did take that leap, it was going to be serious and it was going to hurt my business. I knew that. But at the same time, I knew that I'd been writing on my site for all these years. And sooner or later, someone was going to say,
she sounds like a Trumper.
She's doing. Yeah.
So somebody did say that this past summer, right? That's when, because I'd been listening to you and I'd been listening to you talk about how some friends and some people were abandoning you. Like they were getting on to the fact that you'd shown up at MAGA rallies, like you weren't the Sasha they knew. And then the big takedown, quote unquote, happened this past summer. Was it Hollywood Reporter?
Yeah, it was a conscious decision by me to kind of go public, meaning I have two Twitter accounts. I didn't want to keep pretending to be one thing in my lockdown Twitter account and hiding on my other. I felt like a hypocrite. And I also knew someone was going to break the story because we were heading into the election and I was very much pro-Trump by then. And I had to say, this is what I think. And I also, to be totally honest, I wanted to join the fight. I wanted people to hear what I had to say. I wanted to refute tweets in public. I wanted to use my platform. But I had also had a conversation with the people who work for me saying, this is happening. We have to figure this out because it's going to happen. And they understood and they were going to build their own site. They just kept putting it off. And then came the joke about white dudes for Harris. Which
can you explain
I could
that?
say is the thing that ended my career. It's hilarious to me, but I think what happened was Richard Hanania or whatever his name is, he's on Substack too. I think he tweeted something mocking them, and I retweeted it and I said, white power. But I grew up in the 80s. You grew up, we used sarcasm. We were not
all the time
and fearful. We were, we love jokes. We love to be. And so to me, it's the funniest joke to say white power about these people. But boy, they didn't like that. That was blasphemy.
You're mocking them. It's so obvious that you're mocking them.
I was mocking them. Yeah. And I didn't know that it was a problem until I heard from my friend who called me, my really good friend. And he said, what did you mean by that tweet? And I said, what are you talking about? And he
said, meant power to the white people.
I mean, yes. And then I was going to compound the problem by saying, what self-respecting white supremacist would claim white dudes for Harris? Like, they just wouldn't. But that wouldn't have gone over very well either. And then another friend who works with me wrote me and said, this is happening. It has millions of views. What's going on? And I said it was a joke. And he said, well, people aren't seeing it that way. I'm getting all these DMs. There's trouble. And I didn't take it down at first until I heard from her, the journalist Rebecca Keegan, who DM'd me and said, hi, Sasha, I just want to do a story with you. Would you like to talk to me for? I was like, what? In 25 years, these people have never asked to do a profile on me, a single mother with a little baby who built a website, who launched an industry, who was a woman-owned, business. Never once did they do that profile that I always thought would be coming, like, look at what she built, look at what she did. But now Rebecca Keegan at The Hollywood Reporter wanted to talk to me. So I knew what it was. Yeah, obviously, it was going to be a hit piece. And so I felt absolute terror. And I said, are you going to write it anyway? And she said, yes. And I said, okay, well, I'll talk to you. And I did. I talked to her for like 2 hours. Stupidly, Megyn. Stupidly. I need to learn how to not, not be so forthcoming. Because I said things I really wish I had said. I didn't have to tell her all that stuff.
They're not out for your best interests at all.
No.
You do get to, with practice, like that was a lesson you learned. And then you'll learn more lessons. And then you'll get it. Then you'll totally have it.
Yeah. But I'm just killing myself. Like, why did you say that? Why? Just give her what she needs to know, but I thought I'm going to like tell her my story and she's going to understand it and she's going to get it. But what I forgot was that if you're someone who wakes up with NPR, goes to sleep with like NBC News and CNN and Rachel Maddow, there's no getting it. There's no way, it's like trying to explain witchcraft, and that there's no witchcraft in Salem. Like they are so, and so anyway, and then I was terrified and horrified, and I told my staff, and they quit the site that day because they have to make a living.
Oh no.
So they all immediately set up another site. That got into the story too, because they told her, and it sounded like they were all jumping ship and that they were abandoning me. And she made it sound like, all of this was happening because of the tweet, but it was actually her story that was causing the fear. And so that's where things really got bad for me, in ways that I could have never guessed. These are people that I knew. They were my friends, I thought. I have never felt, and I know you felt it, I know, but I've never felt that way. It was like a punch in the stomach. It made me sick. And I was horrified. I felt like I was in the Twilight Zone. I kept thinking, this isn't really happening, is it? But it was. So Apple pulled their ads that day. And as usually when Oscar season is revving up, all the studios write me and they say, could we buy inventory? And I sell out my inventory every year, which I couldn't believe anyway, by the way. Never. I could never believe that I made money doing this crazy thing. But that was it. Only one studio decided somehow to advertise. And so I'll always be grateful to them for that there was at least one that had the courage to say, we value her voice. We're not afraid of the mob and we're going to advertise,
Mm-hmm. No, I can relate to this just in that when we launched this show, the one thing I said to my partner at Red Seed Ventures, Chris Balfe, was don't give me any advertisers who don't have strong spines. I don't want somebody running at the first LGBTQ nasty letter about me saying men cannot become women. And I'm telling you, we haven't lost a single one. Not a single advertiser has abandoned us at all over anything we've said. It's been amazing and it's so freeing, right? So I feel like the destruction comes and then like a phoenix, you will rise out of those ashes and be better aligned with the people supporting you. And I really think like you got to get ads on your podcast. I feel like there aren't any. I don't hear any ads on your podcast. You need ads. You need to make money this way.
I'm not a very good. No, I know. I'm just not a very good business person that way. Like I my site is still for free. I don't even have a premium part of it. But
no, you need to make money like this. We will pay. I'm telling you, I myself would pay, and I pay for almost none of this stuff. So I'm like, I consume so much, but I would definitely pay, and I would certainly listen to a couple of ads to listen to you. Increased tariffs on our trade partners, tax cuts, and regulation changes. There's a reason why gold is a diversification tactic now more than ever. Birch Gold is releasing their ultimate guide for gold in the Trump era with a foreword by Donald Trump Jr. To get your free copy, along with Birch Gold's free information kit on gold, text MK to the number 989898. Here are the facts. The national debt continues to increase. Our interest payments on the national debt continue to increase. So gold is an important option, and it can be your hedge against a weakened dollar. Birch Gold can convert an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in gold. Text MK to 989898 for your free copy of the ultimate guide for gold in the Trump era. There's no obligation, just information. With an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, countless 5-star reviews, and thousands of happy customers, find out more about Birch Gold. There is a reason so many people love these guys and take all or just a small part of their existing IRAs and move them over into gold with Birch. Text MK to the number 989898 today. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.